Hello everyone, so today I'm gonna review the Doctor Who book campaign. Anyways, for the plot of the book. Um, this book's plot is weird because it's set in different realities because it's about this game that Ian plays, and it's weird because so we start off with Ian, Susan, and the Doctor in the TARDIS, and they realize that the universe has ended. And then suddenly Barbara appears, and they're like, "What the fuck?" Because in their reality, Barbara has died because of radiation in the Dalek city on Skaro. So, and for Barbara's point of view, Ian died in Farewell Great Macedon. So they're kind of freaked out by that. Yeah, and then it kind of skips between different realities. So we see all types of different companions from the Doctor's sort of extended media, from the first Doctor's kind of extended media stuff. So there's like John and Gillian, and like loads and loads of sort of companions from different spin-off media, and it's all in different realities. So it kind of retcons those spin-off companions, which is quite nice. Yeah, I do. Then like we see all these different sort of situations. There's even like this bit towards the end where it switches to like a comic for like a few pages, and it's written like one of those like annual comics or something from like the 60s, with like John and Gillian arriving, at the Tower of Babel, and like meeting Ian, and the Doctor being like, "Hi, Ian," and then they just kind of go away again, and they talk about the game. It's kind of difficult to explain in a review because this book doesn't really have a plot. There's just kind of like chapters with different stories in different realities with the same sort of where they all reference the game, and it's all inside the TARDIS, and the universe has ended, and it all ends in different ways, and it's really obscure. There's like this one where the TARDIS is pregnant and gives birth to like a reality where like one of the Doctor's companions go and meet this like Stone Age guy, and it's really obscure. There's this one where Susan has a child, and it's all these different situations, but it's the same situation just in different realities with slightly different outcomes and slightly different themes and things. Yeah, it's really the most uniquest Doctor Who story of all time. It really is. It's so unique. It's very difficult to explain in a way because you have to read it to sort of understand it, I'd say. It manages to be actually quite enjoyable whilst being extremely obscure, and it's a bit of a mindfuck, really, in a way, for the first sort of few chapters, but then you kind of slowly realize what's going on, and you're like, oh, this is interesting. But still, it doesn't really have a plot. It's just kind of like different stories, but it's the same. I don't know. I think the story itself, if I had to compare it to anything, the sort of feeling, I'd compare it to the Big Finish Audio's Circular Time, because it's the same with like Circular Time. You don't feel like you're experiencing a Doctor Who story. You're kind of more experiencing a unique story, which is more like a piece of art, I'd say. Yeah, I don't know. That's what I'd say, anyways. Yeah, but it does really have some good themes, and whilst the story doesn't really have a plot, you don't feel like it's lacking a plot. It's more when you think about it, you're like, what's the plot again? It's like a million different stories, which fits the game. This is all a game. They're playing a game where you go through different realities and live and die until you win. And towards the end of the book, Ian, like the ending of the book, is Ian waking up and being like, "Fucking, oh, that's a intense game, Susan," and Susan being like, "I know, right?" Like, right, so I'm gonna try to do positives and negatives now, which is difficult for this one, because it's so unique and weird. Well, the first positive would be that it's unique as fuck. Like, really just unique. Um, and you don't get bored reading this. It keeps you on the edge of your seat throughout most of the book. it gets a bit sort of bland in the sort of middle, I'd say. Just kind of like there's 50 pages where it's kind of like the same, and you're kind of wondering what's going on. Where you have enough, you have too much explanation for it to be mysterious, but you don't have enough for it to make quite sense. But apart from that, I think it's very enjoyable. So there's only like this tiny bit in the middle where I'd say it's doesn't quite work. But apart from that, I think the book is very solid, and it's kind of like you're reading a piece of fan fiction, and just kind of like written by a Doctor Who writer. I suppose it is kind of like something I'd write. It does remind me of something I could write, I suppose. Then again, Jim Mortimer wrote most of this book in the middle of the night, at 3 a.m. I think it was, or something. I suppose that would explain its oddness. But no, it's really interesting. Like, I'd actually compare this story to like a mix between Circular Time and The Web Planet. Just kind of like where you've, but it's like The Web Planet just with the faster pacing. So overall, what do I think of this book? Well, I actually really liked it, and this isn't something I'm saying just because I bought this from Jim Mortimer. I generally quite liked it. So this book gets an 8 out of 10. Anyways, that's it for me, and I'll see you guys next time for another video. Bye everyone.